Today's tip is about this product by Purple Hobbies called the Third Hand Binding Folder Clip. And it is something that you would use to fold your 2.5 inch binding in half. Now normally, without this particular gadget, you would take your fabric, fold it in half. Now I want to make sure that my edges are aligned, and then I'm trying to iron, holding my iron as I'm moving this down. And you can see this is where the third hand, where they got their name. What this gadget does is it folds the fabric for you so that it comes out already even, already folded, and all you need to do is pull the fabric out and press as you go along. So I'm going to show you how it works, and then we'll attach it to our ironing board and we will press this piece of binding fabric in half. If you take a look at this gadget, it's very simple. It has an opening here that's adjustable. Once you release the screw, it goes up and down and can tighten onto any size pretty much ironing board. So I'm using my pressing board here just so I can show you easily. The fabric feeds through here, comes out this end, and then you can kind of push it through that slot right there. You'll see it feeding through. I find that it's easier to load the fabric first, pull a little bit of a tail out, and then hook it onto my ironing board. It's just a little less cumbersome that way. It's a little awkward when you try and do it when it's already attached. I'm going to fold the fabric piece wrong sides together because this is our binding strip. Want to make sure those ends meet, and then we're just going to feed it through the little slot. This is a little tricky part. You want to get it far enough in so that you can see it, and then you can use your pin or seam ripper or stylus or whatever to pull it through. Once it starts coming out the end, then you can adjust it. Right now you can see it's feeding out nicely. We'll make sure that those raw edges are together before we press, and we'll make sure that we're not all tangled up on this side. But now that this is out, I'm going to affix this to my pressing surface, my ironing board or whatever you're using. So you're just going to loosen up that wing nut. And then as you can see, it'll adjust to whatever the size is of your pressing surface. I've slid this on and I'm going to tighten that up. So I'm going to make sure that this is holding tight. So just squeeze that up as much as you can before you tighten that nut. And now it's on there pretty well. We don't want it to pull off. So I've got it pretty secure. We're going to pull this through. Before we start pressing, we need to get enough that we have some coming out from the opposite side of our iron, which I do. This is about the amount that I need for my iron, about 6 inches. And I'm going to place my iron on here. Then you're going to grab onto the end and just keep pulling it through and pressing it as you go along. And look at that beautiful binding. It doesn't burn your fingers. It's perfect. It's aligned at the top. The selvage edges are aligned. We've got a nice crease. We don't have any divots or anything where it's gotten off course from our hand positioning. Purple Hobbies makes this the Third Hand Binding Folder Clip for 2.5 inch fabric strips. I think it works like a charm. I love it. I pressed my binding for a rather large quilt in no time, and I think it's definitely a thumbs up on this product.